And there goes that bomber. First bomb released. Going after that first T2 Mechs here for Mutulao. Gonna continue on northward, go for the rear guard air slot player. Gonna go after a bunch of engineers, and that P-Gen does not kill it off, but maybe it will come back around and go for it. It's gonna get back in the back line as well. Does not drop a bomb off to that T2 Mechs. Continue to circle back around. Looks like it is moving to the west to Babel's position. Gonna get a nice little grouping here if it drops right about here, and it will. Look at that, gonna drop, kill off a T2 Mechs and damage a T31. That early bomber strat might be working out here for Team 2's player, but of course you have to watch to the end of the game to see if it does work out. Hey, you there! Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing New Roxas map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the Northeast, ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's frontline player in the East, it is Mutulao. He's going first land as a Cybern. He is a 1300 in Batman Gray. To his west, we have Shalongdas going first land as a Cybern. He is a 1300 in white. And the Northwest, we have Pie Guy going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1200 in orange, the color orange. We have in the rear guard air slot, or at least one of them, we have Babel going first air as an Aeon. He is a 1300 as light oak tan. And in the East, with Team 1's last remaining player to introduce, Isabella Roan going first land as an Aeon. He is a 1600, the highest rank on his team, and he is in Barbie pink. So for Team 1 side of the map, we have 2 Cyberns in the East, 2 Aeon in the rear guard, and 1 Seraphim in the West, which means they don't have access to UEF tech. Running off with Team 2's frontline player in the West is Dusky going first land. He is in Ruby Red, and he is a 900. In the middle here, we have Team 2 Zardos going first land, second air. He is an Aeon, and he is a 1000 rated player in glow in the dark green. In Rust in the South, we have Perispera going first land as a Cybern. He is a 1400. And in Laddish Red Pink, we have Skillish Noob going first land, second air as a Cybern. He is a 1900, the highest rank on Team 2 and in the game overall. And like I said, he's in Laddish Red Pink. And to his northwest, we have in Chevy Crimson, Touch My Berries going first land as a UEF. He is a 1400. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have 2 UEF, 2 Cyberns, and 1 Aeon, which means Team 2 does not have access to Seraphim tech. Team 1 does not have access to UEF tech. Let's take a look at the reclaim as our players get going on and exploring the map. We have, for 10 players to scope up, 34,000 reclaim, which means it's almost 3,500, but it's 3.4K thousand per player. And that is a decent amount of mass. It's a lot of upgrades, a lot of T1 mixes or facilities, or whatever else our players want to scoop it into, maybe even upgrades as well. So let's go ahead and see where the match point layouts look like here for Team 2. We have a quad mix position in the South with 2 Trimexes, as well as 1 Trimex and another Trimex here in the West. And the rest of the map is kind of very spread out, but some of it is in the rear, some of it's in the middle, but most of it does rely forward of Team 2's main base. And with that out of the way, we're going to go back to 0 speed so we can cover what our players are up to. We do have all the frontline players on Team 1 moving to the center of the map, with Team 1's Shalongdas the furthest forward. And he was, I think, slightly forward to the middle than his other 2 players, or teammates, I should say. So he's going to get that Trimex a little bit sooner than Zardos will. We do see some movement out here from Dusky to the west. But unfortunately here for Team 2, we don't see any movement. Oh, nope, scratch that. We see some movement here per Aspera. There is a nice little T1 bomber outbound from Babel, kind of harassing Team 2's middle players. There is an interceptor on its way that's been built to deal with that bomber. It looks like it did kill off an engineer. Bomber might be able to turn around and kill off, something else. Maybe he'll get to another target. Moving westward, maybe he sees that engineer. Maybe he doesn't. Will it drop? Yes, it will. Will it get the engineer? Yes, essentially on top of it. The interceptor will kill off that bomber, but 2 engineers were killed off. That means the nice little expansion here for Team 2 will be slightly slowed down, but not really a huge issue. It's mainly, again, a delaying tactic more than anything else. We do see a nice little bot and mole here for Team 2's Perispera on this western side, with a counter move here to the east with a Mole and a Mantis here for Team 1's Mutulal. It does look like that little group of units will kind of skate by just barely unnoticed for now. We'll see what Team 1 can see. That radar signature was barely there for a second. The Air Scout will see it once again, and I might just go off radar once again. We do see T2 coming on the way here for Shalongdis in the middle. They'll probably establish a nice little firing line in the middle to prevent any sort of incursions that direction. There is a couple of avenues of attack between the eastern and western lanes in the middle, so players do have to cover those avenues of attack. There's a couple of plateaus as well for some nice little overarching positions. I don't really see these ones used as much as per se maybe the middle of the map right here, and I would hope that somebody would grab this. They can easily shell both this position over here and of course this position over here. We do see Team 1's Mutulal at his Trimex position before his opponent. So it's a slightly ahead on the game here. We do see a transport outbound from Team 1's air player, one of their air players, for Valone going for this Trimex position in the east. Does look like we'll drop off at least one or two engineers. Two engineers of the fact Air Scout will spot that transport. And it does look like that transport will hang around for a little bit. It does have orders to drop off, but it's not moving, which is very weird. Yeah, see, look, it does look like it's going to drop off, but it doesn't look like it's going to, which is, I don't know why that command is doing that. That's very weird. Does look like there is a couple of interceptors on its way to protect the transport or kill it off, depending on which team's units they are. But there's a lot more interceptors here for Team 1 as there is for Team 2, which means that Team 1's units will be protected for the time being, and Team 2's will be shot out of the sky. We see sensor package. We don't see that very often here in the game for Aeons, but they are very useful. Huge amount of vision. Essentially, it's a shorter range version of a Soothsayer, but it's mobile. So definitely has some benefits and disadvantages. Gun damage range going down here for Touch My Berries, and gun speed and range here for Pie Guy in the north. Dusky very far, well, not very far forward, just going after Reclaim. Denying it / going after what he thinks is his, which of course every player on the map thinks everything is theirs, but it's just a matter of getting to it before your opponent. Team 2's Perspera going for that gun upgrade, gonna get bombed, or at least his Mechs is gonna get bombed. That's gonna be annoying. No Team 1 AA gun to deal with that. Second bomber en route, gonna go for that other Mechs, and then there's one more to his west. He will fall back his units here. There's a couple of bigger rocks here in the kind of avenue between the far east position and the middle east position. It does look like all of those Team 1 mixes will be killed off, but the gun is about 40% done. If he does use those Mantis with those engineering suite on board, it will probably speed up a little bit. How's his eco doing? And he's balancing it pretty well, but he doesn't really have a lot of mass in the tank. We do see that warning. He has been attacked directly. He will finish the upgrade. These Team 1 bombers aren't enough to throw him off, so it's definitely going to finish off. He will take some damage. I don't think he'll drop into the yellow. It'll be, I mean, if they keep attacking him, he might, but I don't really think so. We do see Skill Issue Noob moving in from this southwest position, going all the way to the east, looking to try to get this Trimex position away from his opponent of Valorone and from Mutulal. We do see a similar movement outbound from Valorant here to the east, so it looks like it's going to be a 2v2 scenario in the southeast, a 1v1 in the maybe a 2v1 in the middle, and at least a 1v1 here in the west. Dusky going for his gun upgrade, but Pie Guy already finished his. Will pressure Team 2's Dusky to get that upgrade sooner rather than later, and needs to get some more engineers to assist. Looks like they are coming to his rescue. Going to speed that up very quickly here, and those numbers are flying up. And again, the sooner he gets this, the sooner he can protect those units that are trying to protect him. Stealth on the way here for Perspera. Hasn't come into contact with any units yet in terms of T1 tanks. There are a couple of them just sitting here. Don't know really what they're doing. It's not enough to kill a comm, and it's not really worth going after anything else, but they're just kind of there. Don't know why they're doing anything else. And it does look like with the comm on the front line here for Skill Issue Noob, Team 1 is being forced back ever so slightly in the south. There's a couple of tanks outbound from further around. They are Auroras. They have a little bit more range than the Garden Variety T1 tank. And those bombers outbound from Mutulal just punishing Team 2's early eco expansions. Been taking out probably at least 1, 2, 3, 6 mexes at a minimum. Oh, I say 5 mexes at a minimum. Nope, that one was just rebuilt, so yeah, 6. We do see a couple of units actually breaking the formation here in the middle of the map here for Shalongdis, trying to sneak on by, and he will. I don't think that's wide enough for a T4 experimental, but it's enough for some little Mantis. And all of those units look like they're going to try and intercept them. All of the reinforcements from the middle here are going to come and also intercept them. It should be enough. It's going to be Mantis, maybe Mantis, so no faction advantage for range or whatever the case may be. And so they're going to be taken out. The Mantis do have to stay on the move to catch up with the Mantis trying to flee here from Shalongdis. And it looks like it's going to be enough. One Mantis trying to get out of range. It's a little bit, it's pretty much injured. A couple of, just shallow shots to the legs will kill it off. But there it goes. It will be killed off there. And that little attack did eat up a little bit of APM and threw off those units in the middle here for Perispera. But besides that, nothing really was done. It was a nice attempt, but it just didn't really get anything done. Nano Repair going on the way here for Mutulao, pretty much copying what Perispera is doing. So both comms in the east going for that same upgrade scheme. We do see in the west, Team 2's Touch My Berries coming in to assist Dusky with that gun upgrade as well. So it's 2 UEF comms versus a Seraphim one, which means that Seraphim one will be outnumbered and outgunned. Pretty soon, Dusky's commander will come into range, and it'll be a lot of firepower bearing down. Touch My Berries might just walk him down. There's a lot of units coming in to intercept both of these comms. And Dusky and Touch My Berries can get a ton of veterancy out of this, but those units are starting to intercept one another and slow down that momentum here for those comms. But the comms did fall back a little bit to deal with these incoming units. And again, focus a little bit more on the veterancy more than anything else. The danger with killing off a comm early on is all of the eco goes to somebody else. So it's almost even better to just have that player keep that eco, keep what they're doing, and have the other players just have what they have and not give them more. Nano Repair did finish off a Mutulao. Nano Repair almost done here for Espera. And again, it's going to be very similar builds here between these two players. And all of those Mantis coming in to assist that Nano Repair. Looks like they're going to stop because of the eco scenario. About to finish that off as well. Wants to finish off sooner rather than later. And Bellarone in the east kind of hanging out, pumping out, a couple of T1 facilities for those Aurora. And his Mirror of Skill issue, not really as far forward as his Mirror, but Team 1's Velarone taking advantage of it, going for a couple of Team 1 mexes. That's 4-6 mass per second. It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's better than nothing. Looks like there was an attack outbound from Velarone here to the Perispera front line supply lines. But there's only one facility there, so it's not a lot of units going to pump out of that, and those units do get intercepted. And Mutulao with this comm will take out a couple units per Espera, and it might just be a comm-on-comm fight here pretty soon in the 11-minute mark of the game. Those Cybrid armies, Team 1's very much more popular, probably outnumbering them 2-1. Espera knows it, that's why he's falling back. Mutulao is falling back. He probably shouldn't be. He should be pressing the attacker. There's a ton of these Mantis here, a lot of Team 1 tanks running down at Team 2's Espera, but he's getting a ton of value out of this. Lots of veterancy. We'll get to 1 star here pretty shortly, and that'll be 10% more hit points for him, giving him an ability to survive a lot longer in this game. And those units are just shoving themselves down Perispera's throat. Now we have Mutulao coming into range, firing on that commander of Perispera, but we have 13,000 hit points versus 14,000. So if one comm blows up and both of them trade the exact same amount of blows, it essentially will give the advantage to no one because they'll both die in that comm suicide explosion. We do see units being diverted from the middle to the south here from Zardoz, trying to help intercept those outbound units from Mutulao. And Mutulao trying to do his best to just force Team 2 back, and as he's doing so, coming in, reclaiming all of the units, going to grab those those Tri-Mex positions and go for Team 1 mexes at a minimum. And it does look like those units have gotten close to the main base. Team 2 Engineer does get killed off trying to build that Team 1 PD. ASFs are online for Skill Issue Noob. Probably should be online here for Velarone as well. Yes, they are. And T3 is on the way here for Babel as well in the north. So 2 air players on Team 1 and only 1 air player on Team 2. But it does look like Mutulao has run out of forces. Well, actually, no, there's a couple more still in his base. T2 Engineers trying to build that Team 1 PD, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to get killed off. A couple of gunships routed to this position here from the air player of Skill Issue Noob. And it does look like those ASS will come and protect those, but it doesn't look like the Mantis will get any other work done besides just killing off some T2 Engineers. And those forces from Velarone trying to push back Skill Issue Noob as well. in the southern side of the map. So Team 2 really falling behind here in the map control game, but Strat Bomber is online here for Team 2. This could be pretty big, going after the back line of mechs is really devastating eco for one or more players. We do see a fight to the west once again. I think I'm going to split it up to see what's going on in the west and what's going on with that bomber. Bomber is outbound, going for, looks like Mutulao. No, it's going straight back. No, it is going to go for Mutulao first. Going to drop a bomb on its way. Get that T2 Mechs killed off. There it goes. That 6 mass a second that he just lost. Touch My Berries has gun and not T2. Has gun, shield, and nano. Dusky has gun. And bomb drops once again. Kills off kills off T2 Mechs. No, doesn't kill off anything. Looks like it was going after that P-Gen. Looks like it was probably shot out of the sky. Dusky receiving a ton of firepower here from Pie Guy. Of course, Pie Guy has some T1, PD, and T2 assistance outbound from Babel. Actually, the bomber's up here. Now it's going after T3 Mechs. That's going to hurt. Take out one T2 Mechs and severely weaken that T3. Dusky has fallen below 500 hit points. Will he be killed off? Touch My Berries tries to intercept that overcharge, but Pie Guy does sneak it in there at the last second. It's the first kill of the game at 14 minutes. Bomber's still wreaking havoc on Team 1's back line, and Pie Guy going to start forcing his way forward once again. Bomber drops another T2 Mechs here for Team 1, and Team 1 starting to suffer from that lone bomber. As I make comments before, that early bomber could be a huge deal here if used correctly, especially when one player gets the T3 air a lot faster than the other. But it's just Touch My Berries versus Pie Guy here. Bomber drops another Max here. I just see it on the minimap over here. Takes out... Actually, it doesn't take out that T3 Max. Looks like it went after a T2 P-Gen. But T3 air is online. They're trying to spam up. I think those are Swift Winds to just kind of get some air response. Takes out a ton of engineers with that bomb. How many kills is on board that bomber? 54. Killed off 11,000 mass. 2-star efficiency. And it does look like Pie Guys will retreat in the face of Touch My Berries, shield, and guncom, and nanocom. Looks like the bomber flew off screen. There it goes. ASF's constantly guarding this bomber. Will drop again. Will not kill off that T3 Mechs, but will severely weaken another one. Revenant. Oh, will it get away? We'll drop a T2 Mechs against Pie Guys, and I think Team 2's Skill Issue Nuke goes, I don't want to lose that bomber. So I'm not going to. So this would be a good grab, getting those T2 P-Gens. But no, I think it's going to go back for that dual Trimex position. Dual Tier 3 mechs that he's been trying to kill off for the past couple of runs. ASF's constantly running in and resupplying the ones that die off here from Team 2. And Skill Issue Noob, where'd the bomber go? Oh, there. I was wondering where it went. And going to drop on those T2 P-Gens. Oh, there they go. Really just wreaks havoc on the power generation. We'll get some assistance from his teammates, but that's never a good position to be in, because if more P-Gens die on Team 1, it's just everybody loses power. And that bomber back up to almost half of its hit points. Is repping up 18 hit points a second due to its 3-star efficiency now. Going to drop on that T2 Mechs, fully ringed. There it goes. Takes out the engineers as well. Forfeits, says, oh, no, not forfeit. I always say that's forfeits, but, well, come on, is pretty much what Pie Guy is saying. Another T2 Mechs killed off. Lightning Tank misses, it looks like. Oh, the Revenant's going to turn around. That's not a good idea. You can't, he's going to, unless you kill off the Lightning Tank, it's not going to work. What's he going to go after? Drops another bomb, still isn't killed off. Gets another rank invention, now back up to 500 hit points. This thing is killed off. 21,000 mass, 5-star efficiency bomber. Probably should just store that in the hangar and call it a day. Dang, that bomber has done a ton of work here for Team 2. Team 1, I mean, the eco is staying a little bit ahead of Team 1, but Team 2, but they were pretty much not far in between, no, far ahead of Team 2, but still, it is a decent amount of mass that they have lost. Another 12 mass with those 2 T2 Mechs. The Lightning Tank misses again. Looks like it's shooting just above that Revenant. Lightning Tank trying to chase it down, and the ASF's coming in. The bomber will still survive. It's still alive with 780 hit points. It looks like it will die off now when it turns around. But, man, that bomber killed a ton of stuff off here for Team 2. And Team 2 now in the lead of the mass generation game at, well, that's reclaim related. 600 mass versus Team 1's about 590, 550, depending on, I think it's a power generated issue. That was a lot of killed off mass here for Team 2. Huge, huge. And with the focus on that bomber, let's see what Team 1 and Team 2 have gotten up to in the meantime. Mutulel has claimed this position here for himself and his team. Perisper has been knocked out of his position for the time being. Looks like he's going to move in a bit. But it does look like he's pushing on the southern side against Verlarone in the east, so trying to hook maneuver that. We do see the laser started here for Mutulel. He might go for cloaking after this and try to force his way down Perisper's throat that way, being a little cheeky guy and going for that cloaking with the laser. Very hard to target. Can still do it, but is very annoying. We do see T3 Ravagers online here. Touch My Berries has gone for the engineering upgrade to assist in that expansionary efforts. The T3 Ravager, the only T3 PD in the game, and it has the best range of any PD in said game. And there it goes, starting to punish Team 1. Team 1 essentially going to be forced to move forward to deal with this. They cannot sit in this position for long, or it's just free damage. Touch My Berries needs to respond to this. There are multiple tanks in the form of both bricks and some siege tanks. Those Othams online coming forward. Touch My Berries going for a fourth one, but those Ravagers can't really respond to units that quickly. Needs to go more for triads or T1 PD, but Touch My Berries overcharges, kill off one of those tanks, and we do see a Percy now online that's going to target the Othams first. And that's another Otham killed off here for Touch My Berries. He's almost at 3-star veterancy at 3,400 mass killed off. Another overcharge kicks out another brick. Looks like it killed off an Ilshi as well. And those Ilshis and other remaining T3 units just ripping through the PD. But this has forced Pie Guy's hands. He wanted to keep his units in that shield, but it's not going to be the play here for Pie Guy. He had to push forward, which is maybe what Touch My Berries wanted, but he kills off another set of Ilshis there. Gets up to 4-star veterancy, 7,200 mass killed. Gonna get another overcharge here. There he goes, kills off another Ilshi. He might get up to 5-star veterancy at 10,000 mass killed, but it's Pie Guys at 21,000 hit points versus Touch My Berries 21,000 plus 19,000 if fully generated or fully capacitated shield. But Percy coming online. There's a lot of reclaim here. Most of it actually just Team 1, so this is quote-unquote rightfully Team 1's, but Team 2 definitely wants a crack at that. Looks like there might be some Ravagers built up back here. Yep, that's like what he's going to do, and just force back once again, kind of just creep his way forward. We see some bricks forcing back those Harbingers. I think the weakest of the T3 bot in terms of Brick, Otham, Percy, and Harbinger. I think Harbingers are the weakest, in my opinion. They're useful in other aspects, but it's just, you know, only having 30, the base one, 3,600 plus an additional 1,000 versus the bricks 7,500. It's a huge difference. Looks like the bricks trying to intercept those Harbingers. Actually, looks like they will be killed off. They just were outnumbered from the Harbingers. Of course, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. Is my example of you can just overwhelm your opponent and win that way. Pie Guys has dropped into the yellow. Sub 11,000 hit points, sub 10,000 with the Ravagers now opening up. Percy's opening the door for Touch My Berries to start creeping a little bit forward with that PD. And all this is going to do is solidify Touch My Berries' position in honor of his fallen UEF comrade of Dusky. And at 21 minutes in the game, let's take a look at the overall gameplay status. We have Team 2 at 900 mass income, Team 1 at 860, 880, depending on the moment and reclaim. They've recovered pretty greatly here after that bombing run that occurred earlier on. Team 1 at 5 players left, Team 2 at 2 players left. I'd say Team 1 definitely ahead in the map control area. I would say about 60%, 65% maybe, including that little hillock up there. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win the game. And of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And in the West, I love this. There's a couple of units that are, well, if they were used more, or used not necessarily correctly, but just given orders, it would have been a lot more useful. But just one solitary little gunship taking out all these T1 tanks. And that's a lot of T1 tanks, probably about 30 or so that have been wiped out. Doesn't look like they're going to get any work done, unfortunately. There was one Striker and one Lobo with a couple of AA Archers, and that was it. And that one Striker will do its work against that Tham. So unfortunately here for Team 1, loved the idea, just the execution was not great. just wasn't great. I do love the execution from Shalongdis and also getting the Soothsayer online. This is the vision, and he can see, even if it was a 20v20 map, having this amount of vision in the middle of the map constantly is huge for Team 1. Lots of intel gathering instantly. Doesn't have to worry about flying over, ASFs or biplanes or air scouts or anything that can just get over enemy territory. Love to see that. Would love to see probably a backup one somewhere. Maybe, not there would probably not be a good idea. Here probably would be good. But still, I love that play. Has a couple of missile launchers and TMD, as well as AA and artillery being built. Love this fire base here for Shalongdis. So great tactical move here from Team 1. We do see Mutulau running around. He has gun, nano, and laser. Doesn't have cloaking, so Team 2 can easily see him. So probably should go for cloaking sooner rather than later. But Team 2 does have a Omni online down here. So anything in Omni range can see that, but this is the range, so once Mutulau steps into that crimson ring, Team 2 can see him. But Team 2 has other issues with this artillery base and this annoying force of just a bunch of T1A. How many Sky Slammers did that guy pump out? 106! Why? Why are there so many? Why? 116? That's so... unnecessary. I don't understand. And he has interceptors, because why not? Because why not? We do see in the south the movement of the units outbound from Perisper. We're going for this base of Varela Road, but goes, well, I'm going to go north instead, because that base is annoying to deal with. There's a couple of tickle cannons online, but a lot of these T2 tanks just going to ignore it. You see only 30 hit points per shot that lands, and the shots fire pretty quickly, but it's just the damage that they do. Yeah, they took out one tank, but not really doing a lot of damage. And Team 2 kind of just leaving this position alone. Mutulau just hanging out, ecoing up, not really worrying about a whole lot. He's the second the most mass producing on his team. Babel is the first. There are 2 air players. Again, reminder here for Team 1. They might have a third one, so long as this has T2, probably just for gunships, I would imagine. But no, still can get up to T3 if he really so chooses to do. Team 2 has a nuke in the form of a Liberator. Very interesting name, that the weapon of mass destruction of a nuke is named a Liberator. Very interesting. Very socialist-minded of the Cyberans, the spiky space socialists. We have T2 Air also online here for Zardos. So those middle players bearing pretty closely to one another. Both T3 Land and T2 Air. And unfortunately here for Team 2 Zardos, he's facing down an annoying artillery bunker with some TMD and missile launchers to boot. They're actually getting some assistance from the T2 PGen for cutting down on the energy costs. So great move on Shalongdis for getting that adjacency bonus. Zardos just trying to shield his base up. I don't like Aeon shields the most. Of course, I feel like they're the least. But most of it, I think, comes just from the colorization on the map. It makes it kind of hard. We kind of zoomed in like this to kind of see stuff sometimes. The clear shields of every other faction makes it easier. The bluish, kind of purplish color, not as great. But the lightish blue and the white of the Seraphim make it very easy to see. But again, that's more of an aesthetic choice more than anything else, just to help differentiate between the shields and what faction built them. We do see a lot of movement here from the west here for Touch My Berries. Has a lot of Percys protecting this Fat Boy. Fat Boy should be behind the Percys, not in front of the Percys, but is building a couple of AA Skyboxers as well. So love to see the mobile factory being used as a mobile factory, not just a mobile artillery piece. Team 1 doesn't have any sort of response to this. Couple of sniper bots, a decent amount of bricks and Othams, but I don't see any sort of chicken. We see an artillery piece starting to be built. There's a chicken back there, but it's nowhere near the completion. So Team 2 will have that advantage on the western side of the map. Looks like it actually might shift southward, go after this position again, so long as then that nuke that we talked about has been launched. It's going after Team 1's air grid in the northeast. SMD is not loaded, unfortunately, and this isn't a 20 by 20, so it's going to take not as long time to reach the other side of the map, which means that nuke will most likely land, unless for some reason that SMG just skyrockets to completion. But honestly, Given the rate of movement on that nuke, it'll probably get to 85%. I wish you could see the percentage on the assistance for the engineers, but I think there's a way to get percentages on the builds. I just don't know. I think there's a mod to do that. I just don't know which one it is. If anybody knows how to get percentages for those, like the yellowish bar for building or assistance, whatever, please let me know. But nuke will land, and of course, as we say on the channel, kaboom! Takes out everything but a T3 P-Gen. That 200 health really just, kneecaps Team 1's eco. In terms of Belleron, he drops to about 200 mass income. P-Gens, severely weakened, and that means that he's just floating a lot of energy from his teammates. And Team 1, it's just, he almost had the SMD built, but just barely 90%. And looks like a lot of assistance just stops, favoring going after Mexes and P-Gens, of course. All it would take is for that nuke to be slightly a little bit over, and I think it would have killed off that last P-Gen. But Team 2 looking like they're starting to be in the driver's seat in terms of, trying to force their way down Team 1's throat in terms of the southern side and the western side. The middle, east, and the west kind of just, the middle there, kind of just there. I do like the SMD here, trying to intercept the nukes that fly over halfway over, which is good. The downside is because it's so far forward, it's near enemy territory. But I do love the forward thinking of Shalong just being like, if I can just take out the nuke way before it gets there, that will also work. But everybody on Team 1's going to build an SMD, or at least load it. We have one for Mutulao, one for Babel, soon to be one for Pie Guy, I would assume. Artillery launching. Actually, no, those are missiles launching here to the north. Those, oh no, that's just if this. And they will strike the shield. They won't take it out, but if they're weakening the shield, maybe an attack is inbound on the ground, but bricks are flying in the face of it. These sniper bots could be a huge target for Team 2 to get killed off, and the sniper bots might move into range. There they go, shots are fired, but the Titans move in very, very quickly here to try to intercept those units, and it's looking like a full UEF force is inbound to the north here. Just have some fun, lead the Fat Boy on the charge here. The Percy's going to run into those bricks as well. Looks like the Titan's getting a nice little warm welcome from said bricks. The Fat Boy receiving some fire again. Loses its shield as to be expected, but the sniper bots are dead and gone now. Artillery raining in as well. Percy's doing their best to hold off that brick wall inbound, but the Percy's are definitely going to win that fight. There's a lot of spam in between those bricks and those Percy's, so those bricks will fire at those first just because they're the cannon fodder. But the bricks, again, still not being very much in number, but trying to hold off. We do see some bricks outbound here from Team 1 from the south direction. Looks like trying to chase that Fat Boy. Fat Boy has dropped below 2,500 hit points, but it does look like there's some Percy's rerouted to go after those bricks outbound from Team 1's Shalong Disc. But the Fat Boy was killed off, unfortunately. Why they don't crush the skill issue? What? I don't get what he's talking about. But anyway, those Percy's forced that. What's the point? Don't know what's going on with that comment. But the chicken has retreated because there's a couple of Titans getting back all the way here. But the chicken completely avoiding this line of Percy's inbound to Team 1's Pie Guy's base. Pie Guy on an upgrade. He will finish it. But another nuke will launch here outbound from that Liberator from skill issue nuke. Bombers hastily trying to be just on the front line, trying to throw what they can at their opponents. But that amount of firepower can easily kill that comm. That gun has started here for Pie Guy, but unfortunately I think the Percy's might just focus him now. There's that chicken nearby, and Pie Guy has started receiving fire from the Percy's. Percy's ignoring the comm, going for the chicken first. And will that be the best move here? Oh, opens up tons of hit points flying off the shelves here for Pie Guy. T2PD trying to stop them. We do see the Ion Storm has activated. It might be the saving grace here for Pie Guy. He drops into the yellow, has to get out of dodge, but there's a lot of Percy's receiving fire from PD bombers and that Ion Storm. Percy's trying to catch up to that comm, and that's a lot of value out of that Ion Storm. 7,000 mass killed, almost close to 10,000 mass, and has done a ton of work here for protecting the comm of Pie Guy. He's taking some damage, but there's a lot of mass now. Too late, all GG, says Pie Guy. I don't think it's too late. That was decent defense here from Shalongus. That is decent defense here. That chicken definitely came into play and really assisted that frontline defense. 100 and almost 50,000 mass on the field, most of it residing in Pie Guy's territory, which means he can easily rep back up what he had and then some. Probably get 2 chickens. I was crushing and then air killed it all, says Pie Guy. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. In the sense that, I mean, I think Team 1... I think Team 1 has air control, I feel like. 89 versus Team 2's 55. So yeah, definitely in air control territory. Also considering that Bellerone is also in the air game. We do see some transports laden with some Rascoms. Rascoms or Rambo coms, either or, it doesn't matter. They're going to scoop up all that reclaim. Team 2 needs to get on that stage and go for it. Looks like it's going to go straight for that 12,000 wreck of the Fat Boy. Definitely go for the bigger target first. Yep, that's like nano preset, combatant preset. That is going to be very interesting here. But there are some Titans coming online to try to force this SACU back. Going for a T2 stealth field generator. That's not really going to pan out because those Titans are on scene. But the nano, again, going to do a lot of AoE splash damage. And SACU just really getting shot to the face. But again, 300 hit points a second is huge amount of hit points to regen. SMD is not online in the middle. Where is that nuke going? It's going to the north. I think Team 1's player, Pie Guy, didn't build an SMD as I thought he would. And that, depending on where that nuke lands, might just be a kill. That'll be Team 2's first kill of the game in terms of comm. And a couple of Titans are targeted by a bunch of bombers and gunships. Extractor gunship, I'd say it's a pretty good. I still think the Seraphim one is definitely the best T2 gunship in the game, but I could be a little bit biased, but that's probably just me. Pie Guy, are you in range of that nuke? No, you're not, but a lot of your base goes up in smoke. Should have got that SMD sooner rather than later. Yep, told you, says Pie Guy. No way I was going to... I mean, had you built the SMD when everybody else built an SMD, you would have been fine. Shalom just being like, not with that attitude. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Zardos says Bellerone. Oh, Bellerone is talking to Zardos, or about Zardos. I don't know what's going on with that. This is a 1K. Anyway, Team 1, I mean, they have the player, Pie Guy, still alive, but his base is definitely missing some parts there. Team 1 producing 1. Oh, that's not 7K. 1.7K. Team 2 at 1.9. So Team 2 has started to eco ahead of their opponents. And with 4 players left on Team 2, this could be the driving force that really forces Team 2 into the driver's seat for the rest of the game. 33 minutes on the clock, almost 34. And we have just a lot of fire bases kind of every which way, protecting most of the mechs here in the south against any sort of missiles or maybe a laser. Well, Team 1 doesn't have UEF tech, so they don't have those lasers. But it does look like player of Mutulao has been killed off by Skillish. It looks like it was a teleportation going after the comm. Tried to go after the nuke, possibly, but both of these comms from Perispera and Skillish Nuke protected by a host of Team 1 PD. That wasn't going to go anywhere. So Team 2's first kill. That all my NGs. Oh no, all the NGs were killed off. That's gotta hurt. That has gotta hurt. So Team 1 loses the first player of the game in the form of Mutulao, and Bellerone will now own the entire eastern edge of Team 1's front line and back line. You can see he actually owns the entire almost eastern edge of the map entirely. But now there's a Monkey Lord online here for Team 2's Perispera, and he's going to force that front line back here for Team 1. There are a detachment of units outbound here from Team 2's middle player of Zardos coming to assist that movement, with 2 Colossi coming in to fill the gap, prevent any incursions from the middle. But Team 1's not really pressuring the middle as much. They're kind of pressuring the sides more than anything else. It's kind of just been happy-go-lucky between the 2 players here in the middle. But it does look like a couple of Mantis were dropped, killed off all of the stuff here in the middle. And now, with that all, undefendable mass, those Mantis coming into clutch with their engineering presets going to scoop up all of the engineering suite, going to scoop up all of that mass. Definitely an advantage of the T3 assault bot from the Aeon. 5 planes over top, getting a nice readout. A ton of those guys. Oh, look at that. Just look at all that T1 AA just firing up into the heavens. And that Monkey Lord we're going to race on through and just stomp on top of all of those Sky Slammers. Sky Slammers can attack ground targets, as all of the AA can on the Sovereign faction. Doesn't do a lot of damage, and the accuracy isn't great. But again, something is better than nothing. And that Monkey Lord not even going to stop to smell the roses. Going to just continue on forward and push Team 1 back more and more. Monkey Lord is online here for Team 1 now, so that Monkey Lord will win that fight most handedly, just due to the fact that, I mean, True Veterancy might be in, let's see, 40,000 hit points versus 45. It's going to be close. There's our Brixer as well to protect the Monkey Lord, so it could be an even game, an even trade. But it does look like Team 1 is building some PD in response as well, and now a Crab. And that Monkey Lord is not going to stop, and it's just going to clash with this Monkey Lord here from Velarone. And I think at this point, the Monkey Lord from Team 2 might just win this fight if the bricks can get in the range soon enough. You can see damage just constantly fly out both of those Monkey Lords, but now the bricks are in range. Oh, 10,000. That's just enough for Team 2's Monkey Lord to survive. And now third Star Veterancy on board that Monkey Lord. And now they're going to claim that reclaim, or claim that spot. You're going to stop a vetted spider like that. So frustrating. Well, I mean, he almost did, to be fair, but just the assisting units from Team 2's first spare were just enough. And the Monkey Lord goes, I'm not going to charge full hand of that PD line, so I'm going to go over here and take out some T3 Mechs. Definitely worth the value out of that Monkey Lord going after this. That's, 27 mass plus the additional, other 27 that they probably would have gotten. And it does look like that Monkey Lord will get to 4-star Veterancy here pretty shortly with the value of mass killed off here. Engineers trying to build some T1 PD to stop it, but it's not even gonna matter. That Monkey Lord's gonna laser everything to the face. PD is taken out, all the engineers are being taken out. It's just devastating here. That Monkey Lord now at 4-star Veterancy. Might get close to 5 here, lasering the ground for some reason. Don't know why he's missing like that. Does kill off that Mechs finally. 46,000, might even get to 5-star here. And those Colossus are now the front line here for Team 2 on the east. Essentially the Monkey Lord diverted just to get out of there. And the Crab is not going to finish. The Hives are just going to be ripped to shreds by these Colossi. Tons and tons of gunships going after those highly tall, highly valued Colossi, the Cyclopses of the game. The T3 land headquarters going to die here. That's very vital here for Team 1's defensive measures. First Colossus is down. Second one starting to receive all of that fire. There's still some Harbingers online as well. P-Gen's going down. How is Team 1's P-Gen Eco going? Well, the energy's fine for now, but these Colossi, which we won't reach the rear guard. They won't make it in. There's just so much gunship fire. It's not even gonna, it's not gonna matter. Even if ASS were sent, a couple of minutes ago, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have lost. Team 1 has air control, if not dominance at this point. We do see a Crab in the middle here for Team 1. Shalongdis in this base in the middle, kind of just been abandoned at this point. In the west, looks like a lot more attention diverted to it. Looks like there's just that another group of Team 1 tanks just hanging out, not doing a lot, just kind of hanging out over there. And I do love the attempt again at the flanking, but it's just not being executed as much as it should be. And the Fat Boy just raining down fire on top of that nano preset commander that just wants to sit there and build shields non-stop all day, every day. Actually, the Fat Boy focusing on the tanks more than anything else. There's a Chicken and a Colossus here, as well as a bunch of land facilities being spammed up here by Pie Guy. He now builds an SMD to protect against nukes. I think Team 2 has one at least loaded by now. Nope, it is not loaded, but it has killed off 88,000 mass and is building a second disruptor, which is why it's not loading as fast as it normally did. One RAS preset is devoted to it. Avoid the scout at T3 Sams, says Mutulal. Avoid what? Don't know what he's talking about in that regard. But we see another Monkey Lord online here for Team 2. That Monkey Lord has, again, diverted all the way back to the east, going after that firebase that was once built by Belaron's commander himself, and takes out all defending units and structures, and now it's going to be owned by Team 2 for the time being. Like there's just a bunch of engineers gathered over here to the east to rush in and just scoop all that reclaim up. And that artillery is raining in onto the air grid in the east. But there is now an emissary online here for Team 1, so they have a way to fire back. But there's not a lot of shields covering it, and that Pigeon is severely damaged. One false move, and that entire thing goes up in smoke. But the shield is now online at the nick of time. This shield was taken out, at least the capacity was taken out. Another shield going to be built. Going to definitely ward off any sort of attacks. But the emissary looks like it is targeting the disruptor here. But there's a second disruptor now. In 2v1, I feel like Team 2 might have that in terms of the artillery. But there's not a lot of shields. And the emissary very much ooh, takes out that pigeon. That's got to hurt. And a couple shields. Skill issue noob goes, nah, I don't like that. More shields. More shields. You can't have enough. There will never be enough. And takes out the reclaim. And, of course, the nuke also taken out in that explosion. I killed their Omni now, says Shalongdis. There's an Omni down there. There must have been a central Omni in the middle. 2 Colossi running in the face of that crab and chicken. There's another crab also coming in the backline for support. So the experimental game is in full swing, as well as the artillery trade going on here between both of the air players. And now another emissary to the west here for Team 1. They're coming back in a big way with artillery. Will we see an experimental Paragon? I haven't seen one of those in a while. Would love to see one in this game. I don't know if we will at 41 minutes. I feel like it should have been started by now if one team's going to go for it. I mean, we could see somebody on Team 2 hiding it, or even Team 1. But another artillery being built here by Team 2's Western player of Touch My Berries, trying to help his team in that regard. Another disruptor going to be started here pretty soon by Per Aspera. So everybody, I don't even know what I said there, getting into the artillery game. And all of the artillery, of course, focused on Team 1's position in the east. Both of those are going to miss. I feel like there's more. It felt like there was more artillery firing, but I guess it was just confused by it. The shields falling very, very quickly here. They just can't stay online long enough. Shields constantly just being built and taken offline due to the constant barrage of artillery fire. It's just due to the fact that Team 1 has 2 artillery and that's landing at the same position. Actually, no, excuse me. Team 1 actually focusing on the western side for that artillery piece. I mean, the UEF shields, they're starting to buckle as well. Colossus coming to range of that first crab. Fat Boy as well coming into range. The chicken going to be primaried. But the chicken... no, I don't think it's going to die before the crab does. And even if the chicken does die... Sorry, the Colossus does. But the second Colossus comes into range. That Colossus will die right before the chicken right after the chicken dies. And now with 2 Fat Boys firing on those crabs, this crab will die, giving Team 2 a decent amount of reclaim to scoop up. And it will force back Team 1. This is the chicken to go after. This is the crab to go after. Team 2, gotta focus on that one. Now is the artillery war going over in the east. Shields are still online. Actually, well, yes and no. There's not a lot of engineers left, which means they're not building more shielding. Shielding starting to fail. This shield did get taken out, and that mechs also get taken out. But the pigeon's definitely suffering. This one almost destroyed, and all of these in the yellow. One shot, all of them are gone. Doesn't even matter. Actually, one pigeon going down, and it doesn't even matter. But Team 1 getting pretty lucky with those shots, constantly just not actually landing where they really should be, or at least where Team 2 wants them to be. But the shots are landing pretty quickly, though. Shields are being built and replaced as they die and are lost capacity. And looks like the third artillery is going to be built. This one has taken some hits, and more shields have been built, but it looks like this base is going to be well shielded up, and one emissary targeting it alone is not going to be enough. Now the Duke is online in the northwest. How is that disruptor that was going to be built earlier on? That is also on its way. Team 2 has 3 artillery with 2 on the way. Team 1 has 1, 2 artillery, and I thought I saw a third one somewhere. That's chicken. I don't see anything else. Give mass says skill issue. Yeah, it looks like it's just the 2 artillery. So Team 1 not expanding their artillery reach. And artillery landing over here should be focused on the emissary to the east first. Really just go after that one first, then switch targets. But they are going after a more vulnerable target of the air grid. It has been segmented out a little bit, but there it goes. A ton of that P-Gen's going down as well, just wrecking the energy reserves. The Quantum Gateway got shot as well. Looks like they've actually diverted fully to that air grid. 1 artillery still landing. That is from that Duke fire. But I don't know if going over there is really worth it. The emissary looks like it's still targeting that position here. Well, Yeah, it looks like it's still targeting that position. And the gunships raining in their plasma fire from the skies to go after those two Monkey-Lords. But there's a couple of bouncers, T3 Mobile AA coming in to assist. I would like to see some flak in the mix here. I only see T3 bricks as well as some rhinos and some of those vipers. But here comes some T1 bombers as well. And here come more and more bouncers and some bangers, so T2 flak as well. Again, they're definitely designed for the gunships, just due to the fact that they kind of sit there and take damage the entire time in those flak clouds. But third artillery is online here for Team 2 Skillish Noob, and the shields are falling very, very quickly. All of the shields are offline. That's not good. Needs to build more shields. Cyberns are not known for their shielding. They're not great. Oh, it's not great. That shield falls offline. Direct shot lands and will kill off Skillish Noob. Good thing I was here to see it. Team 2 loses another player, and it's now a 3v4 in favor of Team 1 once again. Like I said, that artillery should have been just focused on that emissary the entire time. It's given Team 1 some time to build up more shielding. Definitely not what you want to do. The one in the west actually should be primary because there's not really a lot of assistance going on that one. And that's partially due to the fact that that's why one of the reasons Skillish Noob died is because the artillery looks like it's... Yeah, it is going his way. So both artillery firing at the same spot. One of the disruptors is down. Oh, that's got to hurt. Second... Oh, some of that air grid dies. Some of the P-gens die. I mean, the shields are starting to collapse here. There goes the rest of it. So Team 2 loses a huge chunk of their artillery firepower. There is one still over here to the east and one to the north. The second one about to be built, actually. Here for Touch My Berries. Spy planes over top getting a readout of what's going on that side of the map. I think I read push Des Mutulao to the west. Actually, that's the east. There are two monkeys and two colossi here that Team 1 is currently scooping up. And Team 2 can't really fight this on their own, so they have to retreat. Team 2 in the west, I mean, this is not going to crack anytime soon. I mean, two chickens die pretty quickly here. Touch My Berries just holding the fort on the western side here. I mean, it's... Honestly, it's not... Nothing's going to crack this unless everything that Team 1 has is directed to this western side. ASF's crowding the skies here above those Colossus. Colossus trying to get in range of that weakened Megalith, but that was just the Ponzi scheme here for Team 1. Say, hey, there's this nice piece of stock you can go after, but psych, we're just going to, put all that money in our pockets and see you later, bye. And there it goes. Even that monkey actually turned... No, monkey crab turns around to fire as well. That one Colossus will die. Second one will as well. That crab is not going to die. Well, let's scratch that. It might... 10,000. It might die. It's going to be close. Maybe the Harbinger will get it. Looks like the Colossus did get it. But it doesn't matter. That's definitely Team 1's reclaim, of course. That is not Team 2's. And now the artillery is focused on the lone disruptor here in the east here for Aspera. He inherited everything that Skillish Noob has, or had, and is now funneling that into other projects. We still haven't seen any sort of Paragon or Mavor or any of that sort of thing, which is kind of disappointing because, I mean, it's been enough time. Teams have the eco. Team 2 at 2.6. That might be... No, that actually might just be generated. And Team 1 at 1.8. They both have the ecos to get a Paragon or whatever experimental, but those look like the emissary was eventually taken out. They're going to rebuild it. I feel like Belleron should have gone for a Paragon or Babel, either or. I mean, you could have hit it in the corner up here, made it very difficult for Team 2 to go after. And these two Colossi to the west, it's not, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. Another chicken dies, but all those purses go, nah, it's fine. It's just going to be a flesh wound, and that is a ton of firepower. Fat Boys to the rescue. Just shove it down their throats there. Team 2 is what they're probably thinking. Oh, and those Colossi are just, they're not having a good day here. Still, Ion Storm killed off 9,000 mass. It's finally ran out of energy. T2 artillery trying to be spammed up for defensive measures against the quad Fat Boys that are now pushing forward. There's no AA in the mix. Definitely a misjudgment there for the gunships. Most of those gunships were killed off, so the amount of gunships that existed definitely low in number. Team 1 is not replenishing those, and the Percy's now do kind of come and get a revenge on the defenses that killed off their brethren earlier on. And there actually, there is some flak that was coming up. They just weren't intermixed with the Percy's. A lot of T2 PD but it's going to be largely cleared out by the Perseus, allowing for the Fat Boys to come in and clear the rest of the way. Looks like there's a ping to go down for the P-Gen for a nice little AoE explosion that will come from the volatile. There it goes, kills off a decent amount of the artillery. T3 P-Gen behind it. Going to get some action on that as well if that gets killed off. But it's just all of the firepower is dead for Team 1, for at least for the most part. The last Colossus gets killed off. We have some Titans going after some engineers. Finally, says Skill Issue Noob. I don't know why he says finally, but oh, it looks like there is a scath that's being built in the east here for Velaround, so he is going for a game ender. Yes, I gathered it was finally there, Skill Issue, but I don't know what you're talking about. And those, one of the Fat Boys actually, killed off by maybe the missile launchers here to the west, and those Fat Boys are going to kill those off. He needs so much time to crush you after I nuked you, stratted you. The Skill Issue. Oh, he's probably talking to Pie Guy. But, yeah, I mean, Pie Guy received a ton of just damage here from that Strat Bomber earlier on, and the attack earlier from Team 2's Touch My Berries, and the nuke as well. Built Fleck with Fat Boys, says Skill Issue. But there's no gunships really left to really worry about. And this entire base is dead and gone here for Team 1's Pie Guy. Team 1, oh, I saw 3.5, but it's at 1.5. They're going after whatever is in the corner here. Actually, the secondary firepower on the Fat Boys opening up because that's how close they are. Engineer's going to be killed off. And there goes Pie Guy. He might just control K because pretty much everything is gone. There's not even a T1 factory online here for him. Still has that group of units. It's still just sitting there. Not doing anything. Still have 3 Fat Boys here, says Pie Guy. Artillery landing and taking out the rest of whatever remained here. How's the Duke situation going here for Touch My Berries? Well, second one is done. Third one has been started. Disruptor's still online. Second one has been started. These two have been rebuilt in the interim. So Team 2 has 1, 2, 3 Disruptors and 2 Dukes. That's 5 artillery pieces now crashing on top of Team 1's air grid in the east. And I feel like at this point I can speed it up at least to 1 because I can kind of see where the game is going. If the Megalith, not the Megalith, if the Scathus / Paragon / whatever Team 1 wanted to build was built sooner or started sooner, I could definitely see them getting definitely another leg up in this game, but that should have been started at the 40-minute mark at a minimum. And unfortunately here for Team 1, that Scathus is not going to finish. The Fat Boy is going to come in and crush this western side here. Pie Guy going for that gun splash upgrade once again. I don't know why he didn't get it earlier, but he's going to get it now apparently. He has advanced nano, so he can rep up at 244 hit points a second. But the P-Gens are going down. He doesn't really have anything to play with in terms of that. He's still at positive 400, though, just due to his 2 P-Gens still alive. But there they go. And he's now getting floated some energy from his teammates. But now here come the Perseus to exact again revenge once again for their fallen brethren earlier in the game. Perseus lining up the shot. Artillery raining in constantly. It's not going to stop Pie Guy from going for that upgrade. It does actually stop him. We do see some Mercy snipes, I think, or Mercy shots coming out from Team 1. They will kill a decent amount of those Perseus. But the Fat Boy does move out of range. And there it goes. Team 1 loses another player. It's a 3v3 game. Artillery now landing on top of that emissary. And I think I saw some ASFs taking some shots. Oh, yep, just took another shot. When Red alone has above 1200 mass, this is why Sarah sucks. Sarah does not suck. Never gonna do random again. I definitely wouldn't say Sarah sucks, because literally 0 counter against Fatty. That has nothing to do with. Yeah, that's definitely nothing to do with that. You were hard behind. Yeah, I mean he was bombarded constantly earlier on, and then that nuke came in, really crushed him. He just was constantly behind. It wasn't really a good situation to be in for Team 1's Pie Guy. And there goes the middle. More Fat Boys. 4 more. Man, Team 2's player of Touch My Berries pumped out those Fat Boys. I can't believe you could crush this clown, says Skill Issue. Artillery raining in as well, taking out Babel's forces. Looks like everything from Babel being transferred over to Velarone. He's still going for that. Scathus is now in the yellow. And Babel coming in to try to take out those Fat Boys personally. He doesn't really have anything on board in terms of offensive-wise. He's killed off. Now it's a 2v3 in favor of Team 2. And we see Solongdus here. He's cloaked. He's going after those Fat Boys. Colossus coming in to aid him. We'll take out one of the Fat Boys, get some nice veterancy on board that commander. Second Fat Boy killed off, and the third Fat Boy is going to be killed off here if the Perseus don't turn around and fire, which I don't think they will. They're focused on targets to the north. And that Fat Boy trying to go after those T3 mass fabs, and there it goes. The attack has been stopped, but there's more Perseus inbound from the west. T1 bombers, Rambo comms, T2 artillery, no good if they have flak though. T3 bombers, Tech 2 artillery, Alwasaw, yeah, that's a good one. I tried using that, but couldn't defend the positions. There is Burner against UEF. Wire Rambo is good. Wire. High HP overcharge. Yes, I will definitely agree with along this. The overcharge is definitely the main attraction to that Seraphim Rambo. And we do see artillery now landing on top of Veleron's position. They're just killing everything off at this point. I don't think the artillery just cares where it goes as long as it kills off something. Gonna build a bug. There's a nuke online as well. 1, 2 artillery. Actually, excuse me. 1, 2, 3 artillery. 4, 5 artillery. 6 Team 2's Persperer has 6 artillery firing. Plus, he's building a scout. This Team 2 here to the west has 1, 2, 3, 4, building a 5th disrupt Duke and more of them. There's 1 emissary still online here for Team 1. It was the one over here that was built a long time ago, then destroyed, then rebuilt. And the artillery now landing around so long as this commander. They're trying to target him with that artillery without even seeing him. And they'll slow it down because, yeah, they're really just trying to hit that commander with that laser. And in the east, Veleron's position has started to be overwhelmed. Oh, all that stuff going up in smoke. He has nothing to fight with except for a RAS preset. And those crabs are barreling down on him. And yeah, the game is over at this point, obviously. The artillery, oh, does survive a little bit. Oh, no, never mind. There it goes. Never mind. I still have my first Mega Chad. The skill issue. Where is that? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, I guess that is 127 mass killed. Yep, that's how you that's how you play it. Yep, that's how you play it. Got to get a megalith with 127 mass killed. But there go the bricks coming in with the crab, and there goes Team 1's Veleron. It's now Shalongdus left standing, and he is cloaked up. Team 2 needs to find. Oh, they saw him for a brief second. They know where he is. They're gonna. Oh, and there he goes. He disappears. All of the units gonna be diverted to that area. Artillery still running. It looks like Scath was fired at this point because of how much is firing at one time. Dardas just says, "Hey, there's something over here." Do they see the footsteps? No, they're just attacking whatever they can see. And I'm trying to look via Team 2 to see what they can see. Obviously, we know where it is. There's Shalongdus right here. Oh, artillery lands pretty close to them. You can see the footsteps right here.
Strategic launch.
Well, I will save us some time. Scathus says, "Pie guy, bruh." I mean, if you have the mass, why not, right? There he is. He's going to go straight for it. Team 2. They don't see him, but there's the laser. If they're paying attention, they can try to target where he's going. They're trying to kill the megalith off. They don't care about the comm. They want to kill the megalith off. That's not even Paris. It's Perispera. I mean, even Perispera makes the comment, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fat boys down here, all targeting that megalith. Laser comm. There's a hey, there's a thing here. Tech 3 scouts. Oh, sorry, thought it was something else. And are they gonna try to walk on top of the commander? They are. They're gonna try to crush the commander. I don't know. Can they do that? Can a Colossus crush a commander? Yeah, they can. Look at that. He took some hit points from that. Oh, Control K GC above him says skill issue noob. That would just be devastating. There we go. Skill issue, not skill issue noob, but Shalongdus going to get crushed a little bit by the wreck of that. GC does take some hit point damage from that. And there goes a spy plane hovering over the top. Oh, they sees it once again. Kills off a fat boy, but there he goes. Last remaining player on Team 1. At 57 minutes, which means Team 2 wins the game by the sheer amount of artillery plus the sheer amount of UEF just production on this western side here. Tons of Perseus, tons of fat boys. I think Team 2's MVP goes to Touch My Berries. Given the fact that the air player of Skill Issue Noob did have a awesome strat bomber earlier on, I feel like holding the west side and pushing it severely just weakened Team 1. Team 1 had the advantage for a while. They had air, they had the eco, But they just didn't put it into anything besides a couple of artillery pieces. Team 2 put it into way more things. And it just seemed like that was the strategy here for the game. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my pick for MVP. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with anyone, everyone, especially your pets, and I will see all of you in the next one.